Welcome back to the staff room. My name is Dr. Matos, and today we're going to continue with Teacher Tales, the story about Seth and Danny.
Walk in, chairs great, we don't play. Staff talk sharp like a quiz on a Monday. Whiteboard wars, yeah, we grade all day. If you can't take that heat, stay out the hallway. Hey, this is the staff room. Say it loud, say it loud. The staff room.
Let's get into it.
Now, yesterday we left off with a phone call to Danny's mom, who basically did everything for Danny but change his diaper. Today, we're calling Seth's mom. Now, Seth's mom was a little bit different. I called Seth's mom. She tended to take it a little bit more as a parent. She wanted to see what was said. Mind you, this parent has been MIA for 3 months. Nobody's been able to get a hold of her. Nobody's been able to get her in the building for 3 months. Don't ask me how I magically got on the phone. I don't know. So I explained to her what happened. I explained to her that we got the IT department. They tracked the IP to Seth's computer. Seth admitted to being present. Neither of them, Seth nor Danny, admitted to sending the emails, but Seth admits it was his computer. Danny admits that he logged in, and then Danny says that Seth sent the emails, but Seth said that Danny sent the email. So right now we have a situation. I explained that to Seth's mom. Seth's mom's just asked to see the emails. I explained to her what the consequences will be. She was a little taken back at first, but it was nothing like Danny's mom. If you're just joining us, go back to the last video. It's the last Teacher Tales video, and just listen to how Danny's mom reacts. So I get off the phone after sending Seth's mom the screenshots of what was said, and for now the day was taken care of. Both students were suspended for 2 days, but it really just didn't sit right with me how Danny's mom handled the situation. But in this instance, the story doesn't stop there. See, for leaders, there's a lot of different angles that you're going to have to play, because when you have a situation like this, it doesn't just involve the kids. For those of you that were with us in part 1, I still have a teacher who seemed a little distraught. So I get a text message from this teacher. She wants both kids removed, both kids removed out of her classroom. There were no threats given. He called her a name and told her he hated her. That was it. So this teacher's angry now, and a knock comes at my door. I guess I was lucky enough to get her right on her break. She sits down next to or in front of my desk, and she starts to talk to me about how she no longer feels safe. And it's funny because whenever these issues happen with kids, the one thing that specific teachers do is they say, "I don't feel safe." So at this point, I'm annoyed because I know exactly what she's going to do. She is trying to get, at the very least, Danny out of her classroom, because Danny can be a little troublesome. So she just wants to get him out, because now that this has happened, this is her opportunity to do so. And that's not what educators should do. That's not how we react to this situation. I did not feel comfortable doing this, nor was I going to allow this type of behavior to be a thing in our school culture. So her and I start talking, and I explained to her that I did not think that was grounds for removal. I did not think there was any reason for her not to feel safe. If anything, she just was looking for a way out in this particular time. And I expressed this to her because If it would have been another student, for example, the initial student that was involved, the student whose account was hacked, she wouldn't have wanted that student removed. That student was going to pass his end of the year test with flying colors, and she would not have asked to have that student removed. But we always use this, I don't feel safe, just so we can get rid of the kids that we want. And I expressed this to her, that we've always had an issue here with that. And it's always been allowed. And you guys think that you can just have kids removed out of your class whenever you want. That's not how it works. I don't understand how you feel threatened. If anything, I would want that kid in my classroom so he can see my face every single day, so he can fix the wrong that he has committed, so that he can own up to what he's done. He can take it like a young man. He can grow from it, and you can grow from it as an educator, because kids are going to do these types of things. To take something like that personal doesn't make sense. It doesn't fall within the realm of how an educator would act. I didn't think it was called for. So this particular teacher, after going on a rant for 20 minutes, begins to break down. She begins to cry. If you leaders, if you allow somebody to talk, they'll tell you the truth every time. And she said the word I about 30 times. My mom is not doing well. I'm so stressed out. I get it. I get it. But as teachers, we have to be great actors. You have to come in and you have to perform and put your personal life aside. You can't take those emotions out on kids who are just learning. In this situation, everybody was wrong. I had kids that were doing things that kids do, and they know they weren't right. For some reason, they love using race to trigger people now. It's a thing. I have parents not raising their kids, not holding them accountable, and pretty much creating situations where the kid can, I guess, understand how he can get out of how he can get out of holding himself accountable. She's essentially just telling him, here's a way to lie. Say you don't feel good. And then we have teachers using this whole situation to get kids out of their class to lighten their load. This is a perfect example of how our society has come full circle. We have, as a society, as a community, we struggle to hold ourselves accountable, to perform without bias. I had to have an explanation with her. I told her, I go, things here are just not always as they should be. I have teachers doing these types of things. I have kids doing these types of things. No, I have yet to meet a parent from this particular place that has picked up the phone and said, yep, I already know that's my kid. He would definitely do that. Yet. And then I have kids being treated a specific way because of the color of their skin. And I have people that know it. And when the conversations come about, they become defensive and upset. But when I pull the data and I say, hey, I removed 13 kids out of the class in the first 3 months of school, 11 out of the 13 were black or brown. And we only have 20% of our students that go to this school that fall into that category. The bias can be implicit, but we have to know better. We have to see. We have to understand the different cultures and how that plays a part in how people make decisions, especially kids. In this instance, everybody was at fault. And I think in today's society, everybody's at fault too. We can't continue to raise our kids this way. And as educators, we can't continue to behave this way. Just when I thought that everything was over, I get home and this is what I do. And I'm pretty sure most of you educators understand this, because you get home and you just mentally either drain out and you mentally shut down, or you decompress by venting. And my cell phone goes off. It's now Seth's mom who sends me a text message from another student who says that Danny was the one that sent the emails and Seth didn't have anything to do with it. And the mom is now yelling at me saying, well, why does my kid always get in trouble and he never does anything? Mom, sounds like you need to teach your kids how to choose better friends. Wrapping up today's story, what we really see here is a bigger picture. It's not just about one incident. It's about how we as a society sometimes fail to hold people accountable. When parents teach children to deflect, to lie, or to avoid responsibility, we're setting them up for bigger issues later in life. When professionals forget that despite what's happening in the world, despite what they're going through emotionally, they're still charged with preparing the next generations to take over the trials and tribulations of the world that we left them. It's no longer about us. It's about what's left of the world they're inheriting and how we prepared them to deal with the struggles that we know lie ahead. If we as parents don't approach the preparation of our children with vigilance, fearlessness, and trust of those that support us, and we as professionals and neighbors don't engage with our fellow community members with dignity, compassion, and honesty, then we can only blame each other for the shortcomings of the upcoming generations. My hope is that we can work together, leaders and parents, to raise kids who face their actions honestly and grow stronger from them. Let's keep these conversations going, and I'll see you next time.
Walk in, chest great, we don't play.